from the opening of the film. And then there's a shock ending where we see that he didn't. And in the way Roth tells the story, we know this right from the beginning.
Although Roth hedges his bets too. In the novel, for those of you who've read it, you may have noticed that Roth is very specific about the fact that it could well be that he's just having a kind of fantasia while he's under morphine. So even there, Roth is hedging his bets. To me, the novel, even though I still believe it's a novel of connections, even though it's a novel of lost connections or misconnections, but those, in our world, those are just as important sometimes.
Here's another insight question. I was really charmed and taken by the imagery that you introduce, first with the sanitarium where Olivia, in old age, is living, and we see the floral wallpaper for the first time. Then we see the floral pattern on her dress that she wears in the date. And then, of course, there's the explanation where she's visiting Marcus in the hospital and decorates the vase. And then it comes full circle at the end. We understand what was the origin of that imagery. Now, none of that is in the book. And the question I have is it in the script? Was it in the script from the beginning?
Yeah, weirdly, it was probably one of the things that generated the idea of the movie. Was the first problem was how to create a frame for the film that I felt structurally could be an equivalent for that, the feeling of finishing a Philip Roth novel. And there is this material residue in the world, and he is going back. This is a late novel. He's writing this in his late 70s. He knows he's going to retire, and he's going back to his youth. 1951, he was a freshman at Bucknell University. So everything, all the visuals, we based everything on our copies, our treasured copies of the Bucknell yearbook of that year, including Logan's haircut. And he's going back. And he's going back to a moment before he was Philip Roth, the Philip Roth we know. It's a different version of him. And yet something remained, and in particular something about an encounter he had that freshman year with a young woman that still haunted him. And I think there's so much empathy at this late moment in his life when he sketches out this woman, and you realize the trauma and the horror of what she's living, what she's experiencing, and the complete misprision and misunderstanding of his own character in relation to her. And I felt that was very moving to me.
Now, was there a moment when you were preparing the film that you said to your art director, I'm going to need floral wallpaper and I'm going to need a dress that goes with the wallpaper?
That was pretty much in the interview.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. We had a lot of time over that vase. Yeah. Two things. One, once again, a scene in which the antagonist speaks nothing but the truth. I don't think there was anything she said that wasn't true. Absolutely. And number two, and I'll get to, but number two, the reason I hope that scene works is because the scene before it is, to me, was the most counterintuitive scene that I wrote. And in working with the actors, it was a real work to get them to feel that, and then they got it completely. Which, of course, when Linda Eamon walks into the hospital room and sees Olivia, and then sees the scar, you have to remember, I think this is probably the first time in Olivia Hutton's life another human being took a look at her and knew exactly what she had been going through and understood it in the depths of her soul, empathized completely, almost fell in love with her. And the tragedy was at that single moment was the moment that woman had to say, I need to kill you, I need to destroy you and keep you away from the one person who might ever connect with you here. So but it was from love. I mean, that was the issue. And of course her Schlemiel all of a sudden is sitting there like, oh, he has no idea. He doesn't know. It's the woman who knows.